Bang, bang, bang. They kicked our door in like they owned the place. Two men in fake uniforms shouting, "Emergency HOA enforcement." "You're coming with us." Before I even knew what was happening, they grabbed my wife Rebecca by the arms and started dragging her out of our house. I yelled, "Get your hands off my wife," but they overpowered me completely. The look in her eyes haunts me to this day, calm, steady. Like she knew exactly what was going on and I didn't. That morning started like any other. Coffee sunrise through the bay window, quiet suburban peace until it exploded. Through the peephole I saw two massive guys, both in dark blue uniforms that said Community Compliance Division. The patches looked cheap, like costume store knockoffs. The taller one flashed a badge so fast I couldn't even read it. "We're here on behalf of the HOA. We need to speak with Rebecca Mitchell immediately." His voice had that fake authority tone you hear from people who crave power but don't have it. HOA enforcement. I asked, already suspicious. We'd lived there 3 years, and the HOA handled things through letters, not dawn raids. But the guy, Jake Thompson, that's what his name tag said, shoved past me. "Sir, step aside. This is official business." His partner, Brad Wilson, loomed behind him, resting a hand on what looked like a police radio. No sound, no signal, just intimidation. Rebecca appeared at the top of the stairs, coffee mug in hand. Calm, collected. "Gentlemen," she said, "I'll need to see proper identification before you proceed with anything." Jake smirked. "You can cooperate now, ma'am, or we'll have to escort you for questioning." He pulled out a thick folder. 15 violations in 1 week, unapproved paint color lawn modifications, parking issues. I almost laughed. 15. Rebecca's the kind of woman who measures grass height with a ruler. "This has to be a mistake," I said. But Jake stepped closer to her, voice low and threatening. "No mistake. You're coming with us. Now." His hand drifted toward a pair of handcuffs on his belt. I remember Rebecca placing her coffee cup down, perfectly calm, scanning the room like she was checking exits, hinges, line of sight. "Of course, officers," she said softly. "I'll cooperate fully." Something in her tone sent a chill down my spine. Then chaos hit. Jake grabbed her arm. Brad moved to block me. "Sir, interference with official duties is a federal offense," he barked. I tried to film with my phone, but they shoved me back. Rebecca didn't scream. She didn't fight. She just looked at me, slipped something cold into my hand, her wedding ring, and whispered, "Call J. Smith. Record everything." Then the door slammed and she was gone. I stood there shaking, staring at the ring in my palm. Call J. Smith. Who the hell was that? My wife had just been kidnapped by fake HOA cops, and all I had was a ring and a name. My first instinct was to call 911, but curiosity, or maybe instinct, made me look through her phone instead. There it was, J. Smith, Washington, D.C. area code. I hit dial. Federal Bureau of Investigation, Agent Johnson speaking. My stomach dropped. My wife, Rebecca Mitchell, she told me to call this number if something happened. Silence. Then the agent's tone sharpened. "Where's your wife now?" I told him everything. The uniforms, the fake badges, the van. When I finished, he said one thing that turned my world upside down. "Mr. Mitchell, your wife is not who you think she is. Do not call local police. Do not go online. We're dispatching agents immediately." Then he hung up. I stood there, heart pounding, staring at the empty driveway where that white van had been. What did he mean, not who I think she is? I tore through the house, desperate for answers. That's when I found the hidden panel in our closet. Behind it, a small safe already open. Inside, classified documents, surveillance photos, a federal ID reading, Special Agent Rebecca Chen Mitchell, Central Intelligence Agency. My wife was CIA. Every business trip, every vague story about consulting for government clients, it all made sense. The security cameras she insisted on. The constant habit of sitting with her back to the wall at restaurants. The nightly lock checks. She'd been living a double life right under my nose. Minutes later, black SUVs screeched into our driveway. 4 people in dark suits stepped out, weapons ready, movements precise. One woman showed her badge through the window. Agent Williams, FBI. We need to talk. They confirmed everything. Rebecca had been undercover for 18 months, tracking a criminal network posing as HOA officers, inspectors, even utility workers using fake authority to invade homes and steal personal information from government employees. The men who'd taken her weren't enforcing rules. They were predators, and my wife was their target, by design. She volunteered to be bait, Agent Williams said. They don't know who they've kidnapped. I felt my knees weaken. You're telling me this was all part of a plan? Until they went off script, yes, she replied. We're moving now. Your wife's ring carries a GPS and mic. We have her location. They let me ride along in the tactical vehicle not because it was safe, but because Rebecca had requested it. I sat behind glowing screens, gripping her ring so tightly my knuckles turned white. Her signal pulsed on the monitor in an abandoned warehouse in the industrial district. Thermal imaging showed 3 heat signatures, 2 male, 1 female. Rebecca was still alive. As we approached, Agent Williams gave crisp orders over the radio. Alpha team in position. Bravo, cover the rear. All units hold until my signal. Through the monitors, I could see the white van parked beside the loading dock. Inside that building were the same men who'd stormed my home. Then we heard her voice over the comms, calm as ever. You boys might want to check the news. A pause. Then, one of the men shouted, What the hell? Our names are on federal indictments. Rebecca, again. Because I've been investigating you for 6 months. You just kidnapped a federal agent. That was the moment everything erupted. Flashbangs shattered windows, filling the warehouse with white light and thunder. Agents stormed in, shouting commands. I listened through the headset, heart pounding as voices overlapped federal agents' hands where we can see them, followed by Rebecca's voice, steady and professional. Jake Thompson. Brad Wilson. You have the right to remain silent. They'd dragged her out of our kitchen hours earlier, and now she was reading them their rights. Watching her walk out of that warehouse under her own power, flanked by FBI agents but totally composed, it hit me like a freight train. My wife hadn't been a victim. She'd been running the whole operation. When the adrenaline faded, exhaustion hit me hard. For a while, I didn't know what to feel, anger that she'd lied or awe that she'd survived. That night, I sat alone in the dark, wondering if I'd ever really known her. Part of me wanted to walk away from all of it. I felt small, useless compared to the world she operated in, but then I remembered that last look she gave me before being dragged out, calm, deliberate. She'd trusted me to follow her instructions, not panic. She'd trusted me to help. And I had. That realization pulled me out of the spiral. Weeks later, I sat in a federal courtroom as Rebecca testified against the same men who'd invaded our home. She spoke with quiet authority, laying out their crimes, exposing how they used fake HOA power to prey on families. Photos of victims flashed on a screen behind her 47 households across 8 states. Each one terrorized by people pretending to be authority. Jake and Brad sat there in orange jumpsuits, heads down. The arrogance they'd carried into my kitchen was gone. When the jury returned with guilty verdicts on every count, I watched the life drain from their faces. Agent Williams turned to me and whispered, It's over. But it didn't feel like triumph. It felt like justice, hard-earned, costly, but real. Outside the courthouse, I looked at Rebecca, the same woman who once fussed over HOA paint colors, now standing in a tailored suit, her badge glinting in the sunlight. You planned all of it, didn't you? I asked. She nodded, every second of it. I just couldn't predict when they'd make their move. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. You let them take you. I had to, she said softly. Someone had to stop them. The agents loaded Jake and Brad into transport vans. The sound of the doors slamming echoed down the courthouse steps, final, absolute. I'll never forget that moment, the men who'd pretended to be authority figures now facing real authority. For months, I'd felt powerless, blindsided, lied to. But standing there, I realized power doesn't come from pretending to have control, it comes from having purpose. My wife had lived that truth every day. She wasn't just a spy, she was the reason families like ours could finally sleep without fear. And me, I learned the hard way that not every HOA rule enforcer is what they seem. Some wear fake badges, and some wear them for real. Lesson: real authority protects, fake authority controls. Know the difference before it knocks on your door.